A world engulfed, an overview of the world wars. The 20th century witnessed humanity's two most devastating conflicts, World War I from 1914 to 1918 and World War II from 1939 to 1945. These wars, unprecedented in scale and brutality, reshaped the geopolitical landscape and left an indelible mark on human history. Millions perished, empires crumbled, and the world grappled with the profound consequences of these global conflicts. World War I, the Great War, erupted after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. A tangled web of alliances drew European powers into a conflict that quickly escalated into a global war. World War II, even more destructive than its predecessor, emerged from the ashes of unresolved grievances and the rise of aggressive ideologies. The consequences of both wars were staggering. Millions died, both soldiers and civilians. Economies were shattered and societies were torn apart. The world was left to pick up the pieces and try to rebuild from the ruins. These wars serve as stark reminders of the human capacity for both destruction and resilience. The tinderbox ignites roots of the First World War. To understand the First World War, one must delve into the complex interplay of political, economic and social forces that set the stage for this global catastrophe. Europe in the early 20th century was a continent rife with tension, a powder keg waiting for a spark. Politically, Europe was a network of competing empires and alliances. Germany, a rising power, challenged the established order dominated by Great Britain and France. Economic rivalries, particularly over colonies and resources, fueled tensions between these nations. Socially, Europe witnessed the rise of nationalism, a potent force that emphasized national identity and often bred hostility towards other nations. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28, 1914, provided the spark that ignited the tinderbox. Austria-Hungary, blaming Serbia for the assassination, issued an ultimatum with unreasonable demands. Serbia's partial acceptance was not enough, and Austria-Hungary declared war, triggering a chain reaction of alliances that plunged Europe into war. Seeds of conflict, nationalism, militarism and alliances. Three key factors played a crucial role in escalating the tensions that led to World War I. Nationalism, militarism and alliances. These forces acted as accelerants, fueling the fire that engulfed Europe. Nationalism, with its emphasis on national glory and superiority, created an environment of distrust and rivalry among European nations. Militarism, the glorification of military strength and the belief in war as a necessary instrument of policy, led to an arms race among the great powers. Alliances intended to deter aggression instead created a complex web of commitments that drew nations into the conflict. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand exposed the fragility of peace in Europe. Austria-Hungary, fueled by nationalism, was determined to punish Serbia. Germany, bound by its alliance with Austria-Hungary, pledged its support. Russia, allied with Serbia, mobilized its troops. Within weeks, the great powers of Europe were at war. From ashes to inferno. The bridge to the Second World War. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended World War I. However, instead of establishing a lasting peace, the treaty sowed the seeds for future conflict. The harsh terms imposed on Germany, including crippling reparations and territorial losses, created resentment and instability. The Treaty of Versailles failed to address the underlying causes of World War I. Nationalism continued to thrive, particularly in Germany, where it morphed into a dangerous ideology. Economic hardship, exacerbated by the Great Depression, fueled extremism and political instability. The League of Nations, created to prevent future wars, proved ineffective in the face of rising aggression. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party exploited the widespread discontent to seize power. Hitler's ideology, a toxic blend of nationalism, militarism and anti-Semitism, found fertile ground in a nation reeling from defeat and economic hardship. Hitler's expansionist ambitions in Europe, coupled with the failure of other nations to confront his aggression, ultimately led to the outbreak of World War II.